So Elon Musk is pretty much crashing out on his platform, and it seems like the relationship that he had with President Donald Trump is just crumbling day by day. Now we have this post from Elon Musk on X saying, "I'm sorry, but I just can't stand it anymore," right? Kind of sounds like the words that you'd write when you're breaking up with an ex. And he says, "This massive, outrageous, pork-filled congressional spending bill is a disgusting abomination," right? Interesting choice of words. "Shame on those who voted for it. You know you did wrong. You know it." Honestly, right? This post on X sounds like what you would write when you're breaking up with an ex, but in all reality, I want to just kind of touch on, what's going on and what we are seeing with, President Trump and Elon and why this is actually taking place, right? So to kind of get a better understanding, right, we have this new bill that passed, and of course we still got to get it to the Senate to pass, and Trump is very adamant of having as much widespread support as he can, and anyone who's opposing it, he kind of badmouths, right? We have this article from Fox, which, by the way, I like reading from multiple different sources. Fox leans more to the right. Of course, I like reading other places that lean more to the left, just to get more of a grounded perspective that's bipartisan, right? You gotta read both sides of the story. Now, we had other, members of Congress, for example, GOP Kentucky Senator Rand Paul, kind of oppose it, and Trump has kind of lashed out on him, and a few others opposing the bill. However, he's taken a little bit of a different approach for Elon Musk, and we know this because we have this quote: "Look, the president already knows where Elon Musk stood on this bill," which was said by White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt, which she said today, and she said, "It doesn't change the president's opinion. This is one big, beautiful bill, and he's sticking to it." So kind of saying, look, Trump knows how Elon feels, and he kind of doesn't give a big F, right? No, she didn't say it like that, but that's kind of what it sounds like, right? And I want to go ahead and also touch on why Elon Musk probably is not a big fan of this bill. Number one, and I think this was probably the biggest one, it cuts electric vehicle incentives, right? Because, incentives. I don't know why it's late, guys. It's late, but this bill is kind of proposing reductions in subsidies that would benefit electric vehicle manufacturers like cough cough Tesla, and this includes the repeal of key incentives from the Inflation Reduction Act, such as those EV tax credits that were up to $7,500, and it also introduces new annual registration fees for electric vehicles and for hybrid vehicles, which of course is not good for Tesla, right? That's not good for Tesla, which is probably why we're seeing Tesla stock start to curl down a bit in comparison to the S&P 500, which is pretty much getting closer and closer to hitting new all-time highs. In fact, we're not too far away, guys. Let's kind of map it out. Where we're currently at in all-time highs, it's only a little under 3% difference from where we are, right? So market's pushing up, Tesla is not pushing up, and it kind of makes sense, right? That's one big thing. This bill kind of is bad for Tesla, but also of course Elon Musk has been vocal on X saying this is horrible for the federal deficit. He's using words like disgusting abomination, and he's highlighting its potential to add more to the national deficit, which is something he's argued about tremendously in the last few months, right? He's argued that this increased spending really contradicts the principle of fiscal responsibility, and he's made kind of these posts saying that it's going to make all Americans with this horrible unsustainable debt that they're going to eventually have to deal with. So that's point number two, aside from the big FU to electric vehicles. And then also, I think what was probably causing this big rift between the two, right, is that Elon Musk was part of Doge, right? This was this committee that Trump kind of enacted. It was supposed to be Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy. Of course, Vivek never made it to even he left way before Doge even was formally started. But it seems like all the efforts that Doge tried to make, right? We could argue all day whether they really did much. Did they do any good, right? We're not gonna. This is not the video for that. But the idea is that, what was the whole point if it was doing any good? Because this kind of just undermines the efforts to reduce government spending, and so kind of interesting, right? Elon Musk kind of sacrificed a lot for Doge. In fact, let's go ahead and parse through the chart for Tesla, and I kind of want to remind you guys how it started, the honeymoon period for the stock, right? This was before Trump got elected, a huge run up, and I made videos that Tesla was gonna fall down because this was not based on fundamentals. This was all hopium and nonsense. Tesla stock fell down. Eventually, Tesla stock started rising up again, which I made a video recently, like, hey, Tesla stock's pushing up. We had a nice big move, but we're getting rejected once again, getting rejected, and throughout this whole period, we've seen Elon Musk kind of just take 1,000, wounds to the back, or just to his brand, his reputation. A lot was put on the line with, just joining alliances with Trump and supporting, the MAGA party, right? Bad reputation for Elon Musk, and this is not just me trying to like pick a side, right? I mean, it's very obvious that the brand has taken a big hit, right? That you can't deny that. Now, what I also found pretty interesting is that we have this piece over here. Oh, freaking ads here. Let me go. I should have put the ad blocker. But we had this piece over here, which I thought was pretty crazy, because we had Elon Musk, which is reported by the Wall Street Journal, right? They say that pretty much he still owes Trump $100 million, but the Trump administration, right, these advisors from Trump, have confirmed that this $100 million installment payment hasn't been delivered. So if you guys don't know, pretty much before the election, Elon Musk pledged $300 million in hopes of getting Trump reelected. It worked, right? A lot of money like that can make a big difference. And it looks like the final installment payment is not delivered. I don't know, the check bounced. That's a joke. Obviously, the check didn't bounce, but it looks like for some odd reason, Trump advisors are saying, look, Elon said he was going to pay us, and the last final payment, he's just not paying up. And it's kind of obvious why Elon Musk doesn't want to pay up, right? Just like the bullet points I mentioned, such as, undermining Doge, cuts to electric vehicles. And then, of course, I'm not too sure how patriotic Elon Musk is about the federal deficit increasing. Sometimes I just feel like he really is not that concerned. Who knows, right? That's just my opinion. But that would be the third bullet, right? Or the third point. Now, interestingly enough, I don't know if you guys know Orlando Miner. We talk quite a bit. Big YouTuber here on YouTube. And we occasionally make bets with each other, right? We make bets such as, I'll tell you, the one bet I'll tell you guys is, one time I mentioned, hey, look, Jerome Powell, he's going to go ahead and start to hike rates at this time. And Orlando was like, no, he's not going to do it. And then, ended up happening. So we'll make bets on, like, the macroeconomic environment. Sometimes we'll make bets on the stock market, just saying, hey, I think this is going to happen. And maybe he'll disagree. Now, long story short, back in October, or it might have been late December, rather, when this alliance between Elon Musk and Trump was mentioned, Orlando was like, this is not going to last long. I give it maybe 6 months tops. And I disagreed with Orlando, right? I was like, no, I think they're going to, the way they're kind of, communicating with each other and sticking by each other's side, I don't think this is going to be a relationship that tears apart. And I was completely wrong. So I don't know if Orlando's watching this, but you were correct, right? Orlando, one of his special abilities is he is great with understanding people's psychology. From the beginning, he's like, you can't have someone like Trump and Elon Musk together because they're eventually going to butt heads. It's just their personality. They can't share one stage with each other. And I was like, no, I don't think so. Well, I stand corrected. Orlando, you were correct. Now, I like this tweet here also from Michael Gade, chartered financial analyst. He said, breaking, Musk files divorce with Trump, right? Obviously, it's satire, but kind of what it feels like, right? Kind of what it feels like. All this for nothing, right? The brand for Tesla is hurt, and now the honeymoon is over, and we're filing for divorce, right? So I could see why, Trump or Elon's not paying Trump. Right? Who knows? Maybe he's just forgot. Who knows? Right? That's just speculation. According to Wall Street Journal, right? That's what the advisors are saying. We'll never know, right? Maybe he will pay him. Maybe he won't. But all I know is that Tesla took a big sacrifice in terms of their brand identity, and it seems like it was all for nothing. With that said, thank you guys for watching. I haven't been making videos as consistently as I would like to. However, I have been very consistent for those within the Push and Profit private group. Every single day the market's open, I provide updates with what stocks I'm looking at and the reason why. So make sure to check that out. For example, one of the recent trade ideas that I shared was EUC. This was actually a trade idea. Oops, it was actually UEC. Right there we go. Uranium Energy. And this was a stock where, at 7 in the morning, I mentioned, look, I'm going to go ahead and re-enter it. Ran up a little bit. Isn't it crazy play, right? This is just, I'm just sharing this publicly, some of the trade ideas that I share. This was actually a trade that was mentioned from one of the members within the Push and Profit private group, right? It's a community. You guys have access to just discuss in the private group. You have access to my daily briefings where I talk about, the market, what's going on. And you have access to the video lesson library. So if you're interested, make sure to check out the links in the description below. With that said, hopefully you guys got some value in today's video, and you guys let me know, right? Is this divorce, right, going to be finalized, or are they going to make up? With that said, I'll see you guys on this next video right over here. Take care, guys.